women are pressured and told to marry when they're young because when women get older, they learn more about men. And the more that a woman knows about a man, the more she learns about men, the less likely it is that she's going to want to be with a man.
I didn't love my wife when we got married. I loved the idea of a wife, and it's embarrassing to admit that. I married her for what she could bring to me, how she could improve my life.
I don't love my wife no more. Whatever feelings I had inside for her, they're dead, and they died a long time ago.
Decentralizing men from your female brain. Stop making them such a priority that you forget that you have responsibilities to contribute to this world and this ummah. I'm done with the cultural, emotional and mental coercion, and most of you girls don't even realize this because you've been hearing it since you were 3 years old. Shadi karni hai, shadi karni hai, go get married. It's not your only purpose on earth.
Hello fam, how are you all doing? I hope you all are doing good. Let's talk about why men pressure women to marry young. I'm not talking about why women marry young, but why the society pressure women to marry young.
They want y'all to cook, clean, raise kids, pay half the bills, and turn tricks in the bedroom. That sounds like slavery to me. If I was y'all, I wouldn't do that shit either.
A lot of men have unrealistic standards for the woman, but no standards for themselves. They bitch and whine that their wife isn't doing something in the house when they're not doing what they need to do as a man. So they're angry the wife didn't clean the house when they're not making enough money to provide a good life for the wife. They bitch and whine that the wife is let themselves go. They don't look like the Instagram models when they look like a bag of milk.
The society and men are all about control. They want to control women, and a lot of men out there don't like to be accountable. So with younger women, they can always have their way. They can turn those women into slaves. They can use them as they like, control them, manipulate them as they like. Younger women are more impressionable and they are less aware of the societal dynamic and how men view women. They don't understand how the society treats women. They don't understand it because they've not been here long enough to understand what's going on. They don't have much life experience. Lack of knowledge and life experience makes them the best prey for men, the best tool in the hands of men. Older women are difficult to control. They know what men are all about. Imagine a 30-something years old male doctor getting married to a 22 years old female that just graduated from the university. Within the space of 5 to 7 years, this woman has given birth to 3 to 4 kids. And this man is busy pursuing his medical career. He is progressing in his medical career. He's going further while this woman is home taking care of kids, giving birth to kids. Does that make sense? I know it does make sense to other people, but I tell you, a time will come when that man will feel bored. He will feel tired. He will feel fulfilled because one, he has his career, he has his kids, and then he will start looking for something different, a woman that is on his level. Because to him, that his wife that is just home, she's not adding to her life, and he doesn't find that to be attractive anymore. When that man gets to mid-40s or early 50s, the chances of him cheating on her, breaking up that relationship is high. That's if he's not even cheating on her currently. Men use women to build their life and achieve their dreams.
I have been asked about 500 times to give women a list of green flags in men. If you're asking me that, you haven't quite understood my page. My page is about decentralizing men from your female brain. Stop making them such a priority that you forget that you have responsibilities to contribute to this world and this ummah. I'm done with the cultural, emotional and mental coercion, and most of you girls don't even realize this because you've been hearing it since you were 3 years old. Shadi karni hai, go get married. It's not your only purpose on earth. There are no Muslim women contributing to the big academic research done in this world. There's barely any Muslim women involved in politics. There are barely any Muslim women who are leading in humanitarian law. We're such a minority in active spaces in the world that when women are asking me, how do I pick a man? How well can I pick a man? How? Left, right, up and down, everything around a man. Get a life. I'm up to my eyeballs in girls asking me, I'm not going to give you a green flag. Do you know why? Because when you are living an aligned life and you prioritize Allah, you will give off this energy that will attract a like-minded, decent human being. You won't need to look that much for red flags, because the red flag guys will look at you and be like, I'm not going over there. She will munch me in like 3.5 seconds. I'm not going over there. But when you're like puppy dog eyes with your tongue out of your mouth like this, like a thirsty dog, I want a man. I want a man. How can I get a man? How can I secure a man? You're not asking, how can I have a career that contributes to this ummah, so when I die and I'm in my grave, I can answer Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that this is what I did with my life in your name. I don't want any...
You can head over to her TikTok page to watch the rest of it. It's up to 7 minutes long, I think so. Let's have a look at the comment section. Yes, keep trying to improve yourself. Until then, the right man will come. I can't believe people actually think there is green flags in men. Those rodents are barely human beings, let alone good human beings. You can have both. I'm educated, own a business, focused on my own self-development before marrying at 29. Happily married for 20 years. However, motherhood is my priority, not the world's problem. Then she replied saying, an exception isn't a good example, but anything is possible. May Allah protect your union. This man said, you will end up a spinster girl. So true. And if you prioritize a man now, you're setting the expectation that you will prioritize him after marriage too, even if that means sacrificing your goals and aspirations for his. I don't know anyone who is truly happy after making those kinds of sacrifices. You have one life. Don't leave it for someone else. It's not worth it. I love this talk, but a woman seeks a man not just for money and security, it's companionship as well, because at the end of the day, everyone wants a family and a home life to feel fulfilled. Well, how many women do you know received the companionship they craved? 100%. I wasted best part of my life years because I thought that a man is all in my life.
I don't love my wife anymore. My wife, 33F, is an amazing woman and mother to my 2 kids, 4-year-old twins. She is pregnant with our 3rd child, and she has a very complicated pregnancy with lots of risks to both her and the baby. I no longer love my wife. I have known for a while. There's no one else. I just no longer love her. The guilt of not telling her this has been eating me up. If I tell her, I put both her and the baby at risk. If I tell her after the birth, the risk of PPD increases by a lot. I don't want to lose my kids for half the time. I do not want to hurt my wife. I don't love her anymore though. Cannot bring myself to love her. Any advice, anything at all?
If you've been married for 15 years and your husband decides he doesn't want to be married anymore, take your time, it's okay. How do you handle it?
Ooh,
15 years.
15 years.
Now
he wants a divorce.
There's no cheating. There's no infidelity. He wants a divorce.
Kim, we might run over him, huh?
What you want to do?
It's something going on.
Maybe Kim might run over him on that one.
Yeah, he got to be cheated. Something is going on somewhere in their relationship. He's not in love anymore.
Not in love anymore.
In love. You're not attracted to the person sexually. It's something definitely going on. So you're not going to just ask for a person for a divorce and there's nothing there. So there's definitely something there. But I would say give it to him, because I'm not going to make your ass look me and you don't love me. I'm going to go through my damn heartbreak and my depression, wherever I got to put that debt. Because I feel like when you marry that long as a debt, I'm going to go through my damn debt.
That's right.
Pray, meditate, do what I got to do to get over your ass, because I'm not begging no damn body to be with me.
I'm gonna tell you like my aunt told me. She said, if I'm not your priority, I will not be your option.
Come on now.
So, lady,
You better say it.
if you're not his priority, don't be his option. If you're in a situation, he said he want to go,
Let him go.
because if you make him stay by saying I'm not going to do it, you know what you're going to end up creating? A situation that's toxic.
Very toxic, a doormat.
And now he's going to either abuse you emotionally, financially,
Come on now.
Spiritually and
mentally. But here's the one thing that you're going to end up doing. You're going to find ways to cause pain to him. Because now you're saying you're here just because I made you, not because you wanted me. So now you're gonna flip the script, and now you're gonna become the terrorist in a relationship.
Come on, man.
So I would say, pack his bags, sign the papers, let him out.
I didn't love my wife when we got married. I loved the idea of a wife, and it's embarrassing to admit that. I married her for what she could bring to me, how she could improve my life.
I don't love my wife no more. Whatever feelings I had inside for her, they're dead. And they died a long time ago.
At some point, I think it's necessary for us to see this for what it truly is, and that is a humiliation ritual. Some men have a humiliation kink, humiliation fetish. They love embarrassing you publicly and privately. These days, there are so many men out there who are so afraid of being labeled a simp or a sucker for loving a woman that they just want to make it clear, I didn't even love her at first, or I don't even love her now, all for the approval and the acceptance of other men. They think it makes them look like some kind of tough guy, that they're with a wife that they can tell everybody they don't even love. This man goes on to say in the beginning of the marriage he was selfish, he put his own wants and needs above hers, and my whole thing is he's still selfish, because you're still doing that. You're still monetizing off of her trauma, and you're still publicly embarrassing her. Do you think it fills her with pride for her to hear her man talk about how he didn't love her at first? He didn't care then, and I don't think he cares now. Any man who's willing to humiliate and embarrass you for the approval and the acceptance of other men is not worth having.
I don't think those men were seeking for other men's approval. I know some men do that. One of them, the very first speaker, is a TikToker. It could be he's doing it because of what he could get out of it. I know she did mention that he was still using her trauma to make money because he's a TikToker. But I think a lot of men say what they say because they mean it. A man saying that he stopped loving his wife is not new. We hear that all the time. And women have stories to share. Let's see what people are saying in the comment section. I was married for 15 years before I heard him say to one of his friends that he can't stand looking at me. I filed for divorce the same week. After the divorce, that same friend asked me out on a date. My ex-husband told me, you think cause I'm civil with you, that means I want you, and then told his mistress he never loved me to begin with, as if that makes him a catch. That's why a lot of men get married and have kids. Status. It looks good, but in reality, they don't want either. When we separated, my ex-husband said he wanted to break up with me. After 6 months of dating, we were together for 20 years. My dad has never loved my mom. He's so selfish, narcissistic, mentally and verbally abused. He cheats on her and uses her for money. The saddest part is that my mom knows, but she chooses to stay. My ex-husband never loved me. Precisely what the first guy said. That was the hardest thing to process, especially because we were married for 21 years. Ladies, please read All About Love by Bell Hooks. It will put you on a game because we as society do not define love in a way that is healthy.
I'm telling women, if they're in a miserable situation, you can either choose to leave or you can stay miserable forever.
You've tested different pains in your life.
I was just wanting to survive. I wasn't allowed to see any friends or family.
May has 3 successful children. One of them is Elon. I like to ask personal questions, not because I like gossip.
Gossip is good.
It's fun,
It's
I
very
guess.
bonding.
It's probably... You had your fair share of abusive relationships.
I got divorced at 31. I'm now 76. If I saw any man who was treating their wife, I would...
Young Elon of 5 years old had to try to defend his mother.
I was happy after my divorce because no matter how poor I was, I didn't have someone beating me up. You know, it's a big difference.
That was Elon Musk's mother speaking. You would think him coming from such a background will make him treat women better and understand relationship dynamics and all that, understand women's pain better. But no, it just tells you that the society has a huge role in the upbringing of a child. Elon Musk is all about marriage. Whether you're dying there, you need to get married. You need to stay married. You need to keep pumping out kids because they need to grow the population for their business to grow. As a parent, you might think you've done your best for your child. You've trained your child the best way. But once that child goes out to the world and interacts with other people, that story might change if that child is not determined to hold on to your teachings. The society does have a huge effect on children. They do that mainly from peer pressure, the media, books, school curriculum, and more. Let's talk about how the society shames older women who have refused to be manipulated by them. Please have this at the back of your mind. The society uses shame to put people in line. to make sure no one deviates from their plan. The society uses shame and fear to break down unmarried women over 30. They do so by labeling them expired, difficult, or the reason why they're single is because they have bad behavior, or no man would ever want to be with them. They are old cargoes. You know, all those not nice things they call older women that are in their 30s and single. That is a way the society uses to break those women down and also discourage younger women from being that way, from wanting to follow that pathway. Fertility is also weaponized to create fear and push women into making rushed decisions. Don't get me wrong, a lot of women want to have their own kids, they want to have children, and according to science, with age, fertility reduces. I think it boils down to what you eat. Your fertility has to do with what you take in. What you eat. You are what you eat. How long you stay on this earth has to do with what you eat, aside accident and other things. I know gene also plays a huge factor, but let's keep gene away. What you eat makes you. You are what you eat. Before science became a big thing, before modernization, before civilization, women were giving birth to kids at different age. And there's something you should notice. Women of those days were not eating genetically modified food. No, they were eating fresh food from the farm. So these days, it's hard to get fresh food from the farm. Everything has been modified. You go to the supermarket, the shelves, things are modified. Things don't taste how they used to taste. Banana doesn't taste the same anymore. Tomatoes are not pinkish. Tomatoes are different. You get what I mean? So you are what you eat. So when you consume all that stuff, putting a lot of hormone into your body, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to alter how things are supposed to be. Over time, fertility becomes an issue.
First of all, don't have no more babies.
Oh, I'm done.
You understand that? No more babies. Number two, don't never beg a man to love you. Never ever beg a man to love you. He hasn't earned your love. He hasn't earned your body. So don't give it to him. Always be a grown woman about this thing. And if he's walking down the street tomorrow with 19 naked women, what you ought to do is say, hey, brother, how you doing? And keep it moving, because it's no longer of importance to you. You'll teach your daughter to get nothing from a dude because that's what you're giving her mother. Now, you can be a man who does the right thing. Now, if you are not about her, if you don't want to love her and be with her, I can't make you do that. And you can't be made to love somebody you don't love. But don't confuse her. Don't have sex with her. Don't tell her, if I got more sex, I would do better. Because we'll take any little breath of maybe that you give us and we'll run with it to a story of love and happily ever after. If that's not what you can provide, you've got to make sure not to only distance yourself when it's convenient, but do it when it's inconvenient as well.
Women are pressured and told to marry when they're young because when women get older, they learn more about men. And the more that a woman knows about a man, the more she learns about men, the less likely it is that she's going to want to be with a man. Why do you think there's so much social pressure on women for marrying at a very early age? That's because the moment that women get older and start realizing how a lot of men are, I'm not saying all men, but the moment that they realize how a lot of men think, they're not going to want to be with one. And this is exactly why as soon as a woman gets into her 30s, all of a sudden people start asking her, why are you not married yet? Why haven't you started a family? You're in your 30s. You should have married early. Marry early. Marry while you're young. Marry while you have your youth. Marry while you're beautiful. Because when you're in your 30s, no one's going to want you. This comes from both men and women, exponentially more from men than it does from women, but we hear it on both ends. You've heard the questions from your aunts, your uncles, other family members. You're 30, you're 31, you're 32, you haven't started a family, you haven't found a husband yet, your clock is ticking, your beauty is running out. The thing is, women who are in their 30s and are single, It's because they're aware of how things are. They're aware of how men are. And they're not just gonna settle because of familial or social pressure. They are not gonna settle just because. And that's good. Because the moment you settle for somebody because you start feeling some pressure from motherfuckers telling you and asking you about the family and shit, you fucked up. You're settling because of other people's pressure, not because you really want to. And this is one of the reasons for why a lot of men who see a woman in her 30s and single think she's a red flag, because they can't manipulate her. They can't control her. They can't do whatever it is that they want with her. They can't play mind games on her. This woman in her 30s and single has mastered the art of solitude. She's okay with being alone. And a lot of men don't like that because they want to feel needed, which is why they go for the younger women to try to brainwash them and indoctrinate them into thinking they have to marry early on, because when they marry older, no one's going to want them. Think about that. Women are pressured to marry very early on because the more they learn about men, the less they want to be with one. Enjoy your youth and enjoy your beauty. Do not let no motherfucker rob you of your youth and your beauty, and do not let anybody pressure you into thinking you have to be married because you're a certain age. Live your life and enjoy it unapologetically.
This life is not automatic. Being alive is automatic, but living life is not automatic. The way you lay your bed is how you will lie on it. So it's important for you to think things through. Do things for yourself. Don't live your life for others. People will always have opinion. People will always have something to say. People will always talk. I'm glad women are creating awareness with social media, and from the look of things, younger women are not falling prey as they used to before in the past. With social media, they are getting to understand men better. So do you think men are happy with other women exposing their secret? No, of course, men are not happy with other women exposing their secret. That's why we've been seeing the rise of this whole podcast talk, men having mics and saying nonsense, the Red Pill podcast, the Manosphere podcast, setting up their mic to shame women, to drag women, to say all sorts of nasty things about older women. We've seen how desperate they are on TikTok to take control and counter the truth. So it's important for us to live our lives for ourselves, understand what the society is all about, what men are all about, so we don't fall prey, so we don't let other humans use us for their own benefit, because a lot of men are users. Imagine a man that is a medical doctor pursuing his career while he has a wife at home pumping out kids. So live your life for you. Do things for you. Do not sit home and depend on the man. Do not place your life on hold because you want to support a man to achieve his own dreams. Why can't the both of you achieve your dreams side by side? Why can't you build for yourself and he builds for himself and both of you progress side by side? You get what I mean? So don't match on the brake on your life and allow the man to progress, to move past you, to excel while you're the one putting things together for him. In marriage, there is no forever guarantee in marriage. You might take the vows, but you don't know what tomorrow holds. You are only sure of yourself, not the other person, because people disappoint, people betray. If you'd love to watch more videos like this, click this video to watch men switching up on women in marriages and relationships, and I'll see you all in the next one.